You need to replace an old pressure tank. Cycle stop valves make big pressure tanks obsolete. So now you can replace this tank with this tank. First thing we need to do is turn the power off and open the garden hose and drain the water out of the tank. Then we need to take the wires off the pressure switch. Take the unions apart or cut the pipe on both sides of the pressure tank T. If the bladder was busted and the tank is still full of water, you may have to poke a hole in the side of it to get the water to drain so you can get it out the door. After assembling the cycle stop valve with the wall brackets, we need to mark where the brackets will be. And using the lag bolts included in the kit, put our brackets in. Brackets are installed. And with the brackets in place, install our cycle stop valve. In this case, the plumbing is all PVC, but it doesn't matter whether it's copper or poly, any kind of pipe. Just make the connection between the cycle stop valve in the house and between the well and the cycle stop valve. You're applying Teflon tape, install the pressure gauge and then the pressure switch. Then before attaching the wires of the pressure tank, I have a hose with a hose clamp attached to the pressure relief valve. We can run this hose outside, and after applying Teflon tape to the tank inlet, thread it onto the bottom of the cycle stop valve. Then we need to wire a pressure switch. Got a ground and two hots coming from the breaker, L1, L2, and a ground going to the control box. Put the two hots coming from the control box on the outside legs. Get your L1 and L2 for the control box on the center legs. Make sure all the lugs are good and tight. Put our cover back on the control box. Cover on the pressure switch. Should be ready to go. Now we have a garden hose tied onto a faucet before the ball valve that goes to the house. Everything's ready to go. We're going to turn on power to the pump. And with the garden hose running, it should be holding about 50 pounds. When we turn off the garden hose, the pressure should slowly climb as the little tank fills to 60 psi, and the pressure switch should shut off the pump. Now we have 1 gallon stored in the pressure tank. And we're waiting for someone to use water. When the water comes back on, 1 gallon in the tank is drained and down to 40 pounds of pressure. Pressure switch should restart the pump. And then the pressure should come back up to the 50 pounds constant held by the cycle stop valve. So the pressure should be holding 50 pounds constant while the shower or any faucet in the house is on. Again, when the water is turned off, pressure should slowly climb from 50 to 60, and the pressure switch should shut off the pump. If the pressure goes a little high, loosen the big adjustment screw and bring the pressure down on shut off. And to adjust the cycle stop valve to a higher pressure, loosen the jam nut, tighten the top bolt. If you go too high, just loosen it back off. And we've replaced the 80-gallon pressure tank with a 4.5 gallon pressure tank. The pump is not cycling. We have much more room in the well house.